Today we have with us Dhwani Gupta, who has been taking English section for Project Maverick. In this session, she will be teaching us reading comprehension, and she will be dealing with idioms and phrases. Over to you, Dhwani.
Thank you, Harsh. Hello, everybody. My name is Dhwani Gupta. So in today's session, we are going to focus on reading comprehension and idioms and phrases. We all know that reading comprehension is very important. In fact, I should say that it is very scoring also. But it can be easy only if we do a lot of practice and reading. Reading has always been very important, but now it has become empirical if you want to crack CLAT exam. So I will say that make it a habit that you practice one comprehension daily, because by doing this, it will not only help you, you'll get used to the passages, but at the same time, it will be very helpful. You'll come across new words. It will help you to expand your vocabulary, which will help you a lot in many ways. So now coming back to the session, today we are going to do one passage. So this passage is little different from what we have done earlier. This passage is about politicians. So let's read, let's find out what is written in the passage, and then together we can solve the questions. So let's get started. One of the main reasons of corruption in election today is the lure of power, which haunts the politicians so much that they feel no qualms of conscience in adopting any underhand method to come out successful. So nowadays, there is a lot of corruption going on in elections. The main reason of this is because the politicians are very greedy of power. They want to get success through any means. They can resort to any ways. To them there is no right, nothing. They can do anything to gain success. The Watergate scandal in the USA is an eloquent example to testify to the fact how even the top level politicians can stoop to the lowest level in order to maintain themselves in power. So the scandal, the Watergate scandal, which was in USA, is a perfect example which shows that even the high level politicians can go to any level to maintain their power, to gain success. Who does not remember how Adolf Hitler wrote roughshod overall canons of electoral propriety to capture power? That even Adolf Hitler too had used really very unfair means to gain power. Corruption thrives because those in the field play on the psychology of the electorate. So in India also, corruption is elections because the political parties, they take advantage of the people who are voting. They play with their psychology. The voters are swayed by the tall promises of the candidates to whose machinations they fall an easy prey. They are also susceptible to fall an easy prey to the adulations of the politicians due to their illiteracy. So basically in India, a lot of population is illiterate. They really have lack of knowledge. So they get easily befooled by the unrealistic promises made by the political parties. So this is a major drawback. Besides, in the representative democracies today, and particularly in big countries, the constituencies are quite extensive, obviating the possibility of corrupt practices being discovered. So in a lot of democracies, representative democracies, and those democracies, those countries in which the constituencies are really big, so it becomes really difficult to discover the corrupt practices because they are so huge that to find out where the corruption is going on becomes really impossible. Anti-corruption laws are honored more in their breach than in their observance. The anti-corruption laws which are being made are more often being broken than they are being observed. even the code of conduct to be observed by the parties fighting the elections become a dead letter in as much as it is jettisoned out of existence and thrown unscrupulously overboard by the unfair politicians whose only aim is to maintain themselves in the saddle. So even the code of conduct, which is meant to be followed by all the politicians, all the political parties who are taking part in the election, they are just throwing away all that code of conduct. They are not following it. And now their only aim is to grab power by anyhow. So this was the passage. I hope the passage is clear to you. So now I'm going to solve the questions. You're always welcome to comment the answers on the comment box, and you can check your answers simultaneously. So the first question is, the politicians indulge in corruption in elections nowadays because जो पॉलिटिशियंस हैं वो आजकल करप्शन में क्यों इन्वॉल्व रहते हैं, उसके क्या रीजंस हैं? फर्स्ट इज ल्योर ऑफ पावर, सेकंड ल्योर ऑफ मनी, थर्ड elections can be won only by corrupt means, D, corrupt practices in elections go unnoticed. See, lure of power means temptation of power, greed of power. So yes, this is written in the very first line that there is corruption because power. They want power in their hands. They want to control the entire country. So yes, option A is the correct answer. But still, we are going to tell why other answers are also not correct. The next option is lure of money. So temptation of money is something which is not given in the passage. So this is not correct. Elections can be won only by corrupt means. So this is no criteria that to win election you have to be corrupt. So that is wrong. D, corrupt practices in elections go unnoticed. Nobody notices elections. Nobody notices corruption in elections. So that is also wrong. So the right answer is option A. Second, how does corruption thrive in elections? Means how does corruption grows in elections? Option A, the people themselves are corrupt. Second, a sizable part of the society is corrupt. Third, there is natural connection between election and corruption. D, the politicians exploit the electorate psychologically. E, the politicians cheat the electorate economically. So let's get back to the first option, which is the people themselves are corrupt. No, nothing as such is written in the passage, and all the people cannot be corrupt. So this is wrong. B, a sizable part of the society is corrupt. No, nothing again as such was not mentioned in the passage. Third, there is a natural connection between election and corruption. No, there is no connection between election and corruption. In fact, elections can be won by fair means. It is not necessary that corruption should take place. D, the politicians exploit the electorate psychologically. Yes, this is clearly written in the passage that the politicians play with the psychology of the voters. So because the people are illiterate, they get easily befooled by their unrealistic promises. So yes, option D is the correct answer. So we will read E also. The politicians cheat the electorate economically. No, this is not written in the passage, so this is not correct. Option D is the correct answer. Third question. Why, according to the writer, do the voters fall an easy prey to the machinations of the politicians? So why, according to the writer, do you think that the voters get easily befooled by the planning and plotting of the politicians? First, they want to self their votes because of poverty. This sentence means that they sell their votes because they are poor. No, this is not the right answer. B, they are illiterate and do not understand what designs the politicians have at the back of their tall promises. Yes, even this is mentioned in the passage. They are illiterate, they have lack of knowledge, so they get easily befooled by the politicians. They cannot see that what strategies do politicians have, and they get easily swayed by their unrealistic promises? C. So answer B is the correct. So, but we'll read option C and D too. C is they are coward and submit to the threats of physical violence held out by the politicians. No, as such is not written in the passage. They are totally indifferent to what happens on the political horizon. No, this is also wrong. So answer B is the correct option. The fourth question is, why, according to the writer, do the corrupt practices indulged in the elections go unnoticed? So according to the author, why do you think the corrupt practices are not being noticed in the elections? First, because nobody is interested in discovering corrupt practices. Second option is because constituencies are so small that the politicians take the electorate whose number is very limited into confidence. Third, because the law enforcing authority. D, because the constituencies are so big that it becomes difficult. So let's get back to the first option. Interest covering practices, no, is wrong. This is not the right answer. B, because constituencies are so small that the politicians take the electorate whose number is limited into confidence. No, this is also not correct because such as mentioned, constituencies are very big. So to electorate in confidence is very difficult. So no, this is wrong. Because the law enforcing authorities themselves are in collusion with the politicians. No, this is also wrong. This is not mentioned in the passage. D, because the constituencies are so big that it becomes difficult to discover the corrupt practices. Yes, this is written in the passage that some areas where representative democracies, where constituencies are so big, so it becomes difficult to track, difficult to discover that where corruption is going on. So yes, option D is the correct answer. Fifth question is, what happens to the anti-corruption laws? So what happens? A, there is actually no such thing as anti-corruption laws. B, anti-corruption laws are certainly honored, but in a limited way. C, anti-corruption laws are honored more in their breach than in their observance. D, the government does not want to enforce anti-corruption laws. E, anti-corruption laws are simply an eyewash just to hoodwink the masses. So let's start. There is actually no such thing as anti-corruption laws. No, this is wrong. Yes, there are anti-corruption laws, but this is a different story that they are not being followed. So this is incorrect. B, anti-corruption laws are certainly honored, but in a limited way. No, actually they're not honored at all. So this is also wrong. C, anti-corruption laws are honored more in their breach than in their observance. Yes, this is also written in the passage because more often they should be observed, but they are more often being broken. They are not observed at all. D, the government does not want to enforce anti-corruption laws. No, this is something which is not written in the passage, so this is wrong. E, anti-corruption laws are simply an eyewash just to hoodwink the masses. Means anti-corruption laws are useless. They don't make any sense. They are just to fool the masses. So this is also wrong actually. So the correct answer is C. Anti-corruption laws are honored more in their breach than in their observance. So the next question is, to maintain themselves in the saddle means. What does this phrase means? To remain in state of preparedness. This means that they are always ready for war or to fight. So no, this is not the right answer. This is not the meaning of to maintain themselves in the saddle. The second option is to be ready to run wherever danger is apprehended. No, this is also not right. Third, to retain power in their hands by continuing in office. Yes, to maintain themselves in the saddle का यही मतलब होता है अपने पास अपने हाथों में power रखना That means they are continuing their office. They want their power should not go through their hands. They just want to control everything. So yes, to maintain themselves in the saddle is to retain power in their hands by continuing the office. D, to play an unfair game. So this is wrong, no. E, to oust the opposition at every cost means to remove the opposition at every cost. No, this is also incorrect. So the correct answer is C, to retain power in their hands by continuing in office. So now it's time for the 8th question. So this is a grammar question. So we have to, I'm going to read out the question, then we are going back to the passage, and then we can find out which could be the correct preposition. So the question is, choose the correct preposition in place of one from the following. First option is back, second is around, third on, D, against. So I'm going back to the passage where this one is written. Yes, it's written. If everybody can see, it is written in the last line. So I'm going to read the last line only. Corruption thrives in elections because those in the field play dash the psychology of the electorate. So if you have listened to what I explained just now, you would be knowing the answer, because I just told the correct answer. So anyways, I'll tell you what is the right answer. So what could be there? Corruption thrives in elections because those in the field play dash the psychology of the electorate. Play with what? Yes, now let's see. Playback. So what does playback mean? Playback mean when you are listening to something or watching something which you have recorded. So it is irrelevant for the sentence. So this is wrong. Play around is just being silly. You are not being serious. You're just fooling around. So that is also wrong, which is irrelevant to the sentence. Play on. Play on का मतलब होता है when you are trying to take advantage of something or someone. So yes, this is relevant because the political parties play on with the psychology. They take advantage of the psychology of the voters. So yes, play on is the right answer. Play on means to try to take advantage of someone or something. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Play against is when there are two parties or two people who are playing a game and they're competing each other. So in a match, that is play against. So this is also irrelevant. So answer C is the correct answer. So that was for the comprehension. Now it's time for idioms and phrases. In our last two sessions also, we have done some idioms and phrases, but because they are so much, they are more than 25,000, it is difficult to do all of them in just 2 or 3 slides. So today again, we are going to learn some more idioms and phrases, and then we are going to solve the exercises. So please pay attention. So the first word is cried out. Cried out meaning protested. When you're raising your voice for something you think is not right, you're protesting. Sentence, he cried out against such injustice. He protested against such injustice. Second word is cried up. Cried up meaning to praise. When you are praising somebody, you are saying highly of someone, so that is cried up. Sentence, the young author was cried up by his friends. So this means the young author was highly praised by his friends. Third is cry down. Cry down means depreciate. Something whose value is going down. Sentence, his success can't be cried down by anyone. Means his success can't be taken down, can't be depreciated by anyone. The next word is cut off. Cut off means died. Somebody who is no more, who had died. Sentence, he was cut off in the prime of his life. So he died at the prime of his life. Cut down means to reduce. Sentence, try to cut down your expenses, try to reduce your expenses. Cut out, specially fitted to be when somebody who is suitable for something. Sentence, he's cut out for a sailor, he's perfectly fitted to be a sailor. Cut him up means distresses him. Somebody who's very upset and who's in depression. His wife's death cut him up terribly. Because of his wife's death, he was really depressed. Next is done for. Done for means ruined. Something which has become bad, which is ruined completely, which cannot be mended now. Sentence: the marriage is done for as there is nothing left to fight for. So the marriage is ruined as now nothing is left in the marriage. Done up means exhausted. Exhausted, you're very tired and exhausted. Sentence: he was quite done up after his workout session. So after his workout, he was quite exhausted. The next word is fell back. Fell back means withdraw, to go back. Sentence: at last the rioters fell back. So at last the rioters withdrew. Second, fallen out. Fallen out means quarreled. When you have a fight, you are quarreling, you are having an argument. Sentence: I am told the two brothers have fallen out. I am told means somebody had told me that the two brothers had a really bad fight. They quarreled. Fallen through means failed. Something which has not been successful. The scheme has fallen through for the want of support. So the scheme failed to gain the support of people. Fell off means come down. In the second school term, the attendance fell off. In the second term, the attendance came down. Get off. Get off meaning escape a punishment. When you are not given a punishment, you are just left with a warning. So that is get off. Sentence: his friends expected that he would get off with a fine. His friends thought that, expected that, wished that he would get off means he would not get punishment, but he will just be let off with a fine. Get on means agree. When you're agreeing on something. Sentence: it's hard to get on with selfish people. So it's hard to agree to have same opinion with these selfish people. Got away. Got away means escaped. Escaped when you're not able to catch someone. Sentence: the thief got away with my cash. The thief escaped, went away with my cash. So these were the idioms and phrases for today. Now it's time for the exercises. First sentence is, I think the supplier will come dash to our way of seeing things. सेंटेंस का मतलब है आई थिंक, मुझे लगता है कि जो सप्लायर है वो हमारे जैसा जो हम देख पा रहे हैं वो हमारी तरह से शायद देख पाएगा चीज़ों को. सो विच इज द करेक्ट वर्ड जो आ सकता है यहाँ पे. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. कम बैक. कम बैक इज टू रिटर्न. सो रिटर्न is irrelevant in the sentence, so this is wrong. Come along. So come along has a lot of meanings. Come along का एक मतलब होता है something is developing, improving. और come along का मतलब होता है when you're taking someone with you. So that is also come along. So no, this is also wrong. Come apart. Come apart means when something is broken into pieces. So no, it is also irrelevant. Come around means when somebody's opinion has changed for something. So yes, this is the correct answer. I think the supplier will change his opinion and he will also be able to see what we are saying and he will be able to agree to us. So answer D is the correct option, come around, to change one's opinion. The next is, the chimney gave dash a cloud of grey smoke. So the chimney gave what? Give back is very easy. It means to return when you're returning something. Gave forth. Gave forth means to emit and release. So this is the appropriate word. The chimney obviously will emit or release gases, a cloud of grey smoke. So gave forth is the correct answer. So, but we will see other options also. Gave away is when you tell a secret or when you are giving gifts to someone for free, when you are just supplying something, so that is giveaway. Given means to surrender or to submit something, so that is given. So all of this is irrelevant. The correct answer is B, fourth, which means to emit or release something, to emit or release gases. The next sentence is, they cast him dash because of his behavior. They cast him around because of his behavior. Cast around is when you are trying to find something. So no, this is very irrelevant. It is not fitted completely in the sentence. Cast away is when you discard something or you abandon something. So that is cast away. So no, this is also irrelevant. You can't discard or abandon somebody because of his, this is not correct. Cast out means to reject. Yes, he was rejected because of his behavior. You did not like his behavior, so you rejected him. They cast him up because of his behavior. Cast up means to something which was left on the shore by sea. So this is also irrelevant. The correct answer is C. They cast him out means they rejected him because of his behavior. The next sentence is, it took them 6 months to do dash the house before they could actually move in. So it took them 6 months to do what? घर में क्या किया before they could actually move in? Do over. So do over means that when you have to do something from the starting, because the first time when you did something, it did not went very well. So किसी चीज को दोबारा करना is do over. Do up means to repair, renovate. So yes, this is the correct answer, because yes, it took them 6 months to renovate the house, to repair the house before they could actually move in. Do without meaning when you are managing something without something. कोई एक चीज नहीं है जिसके बिना you are going on, you are managing. Do in meaning when you are really exhausted and when you are really tired. So that is doing. So correct answer is B, do up. The next sentence is, we are cutting back dash entertainment in order to save up for our vacation. Instead of going to the movies once a week, we are going once a month. So the sentence is, we are cutting back, मतलब we are cutting down, we are cutting, मतलब हम अपना कम कर रहे हैं entertainment पे जितना भी हम expenditure करते हैं, जिससे कि we can save up for our vacation. We are going to movie once a week. Now we are not going to movie once a week, we are going once a month. So क्या चीज correct हो सकती है? Cutting off. Cut off is basically to remove something from something bigger. So yeah, this cannot be fitted in the sentence. So this is wrong. Cut across is basically when you go across a place rather than go around it to save time. So no, this is also incorrect. Cut on. Cut on means yes, to reduce your expenditure or to limit your expenses because you have to plan for something else. So that is cut on. So yes, B is answer C is the correct. Option C, on. We are cutting back on entertainment means we are reducing our expenses in order to save up for vacation. The third option, the last option is we are cutting back in. Cut in means when a conversation going on and somebody interrupts in between. So that is cut in, so which is also irrelevant in the sentence. So option C, on, is the correct answer. The next sentence is, hotels and catering companies have been falling dash at an increasing rate lately. So hotels or catering companies बहुत तेजी से गिर रही हैं, because बहुत तेजी से गिर रही हैं. So now falling over. So falling over का मतलब होता है कि when the companies are not profitable, hotels are not generating profits, they are dying. So that falling over. So yes, this is the correct answer, but we will read the other options also. Hotel and catering companies have been falling apart. Fall apart is when something got broke into pieces. Fall out is when you have a fight, when you have an argument with someone and then you start fight and then you're angry with each other. So which is also not relevant. Last is fall behind. Fall behind is when you're not able to complete a task on time, on a given period of time. So that is fall behind, when you are not when you're not being able to cope up. So that is fall behind. So the correct answer is fall over, because in this sentence, hotels and catering companies are not generating profits, so they are getting bankrupt. The next sentence is, my favorite horse dropped dash into fourth place and lost the race. My favorite horse dropped back. Drop back means to move down in a position. Means एक मतलब नीचे एक position कम आना. My favorite horse dropped by. Dropped by means just to visit someone. किसी से मिला बहुत ही छोटे period of time and I just dropped by my friend's house. वैसे my favorite horse dropped off. Drop off means to leave by a bus or a car. And drop out is when you quit a school or a club, so that is drop out. So the correct option is A. My favorite horse dropped back means he moved to down a position and lost the race. So answer A is the correct answer. So yes, that's all for today. Thank you very much, and we'll meet in our next session. Thank you.